we can start the recording. Thank you, Chanel. Yeah, so good morning, everyone. Welcome along. This is our show and tell for February. So we're going to be hearing from the product teams about some of the things that are happening in their worlds. If you've got any questions as we're going along, please just drop them in the chat, and we'll pick them up as we're going through with each team, and we'll probably have some time at the end as well. This meeting is being recorded, so if you want to sort of share it with anyone that's not able to attend afterwards, we'll circulate that as well. So in terms of what we'll be covering, we'll be hearing from the three teams that are looking after the products under the ODP umbrella. So we'll start with BOPS, then PlanX, and DSN DPR to round us out. So without further ado, we'll just get straight into it and hand over to the BOPS team. I'm not sure who is going first from Team BOPS. Would you like me to keep presenting, or did you want to run it yourself?
Yeah, I think it's me. And yes, if you could keep presenting, that'd be great. If we could have the
Perfect.
next slide, please.
No problem.
Great. So hi, I'm Tom. For those of you who I've not met before, I have been around BOPS for a long time, but not so active recently. But I'm here because I'm working alongside my colleagues Laura and Martin on some work looking to develop routes to market for the ODP products. So that's all of the products, PlanX, BOPS, DSN and DPR. But we've obviously got a particular focus on BOPS as kind of the back office system, and one that has particular challenges around getting to market. And what we are doing as part of this work is we're interviewing stakeholders to help us develop this. So drawing on the insights, the knowledge, the expertise of those of you who are decision makers or involved in making decisions about software and procurement, to understand better how we can meet your needs and ultimately get BOPS out there doing some good stuff. So we're looking to speak to some senior stakeholders involved in, as I said, procurement, business strategy, IT, digital, finance, legal. If you are one of those people, or you know someone who would be happy to talk to us, if you could reach out to Laura or myself, we're both on Slack, and there is a channel, so the BOPS Routes to Market channel as well. So we're looking to have 30 to 45-minute calls throughout March. So if you know someone, or you think there's someone we could be connected with, please do let us know. Also, if you've got an email from us reaching out to you, it would be great if you could, let us know if there's someone in your council who could help us out. But that is all from me for now. Hopefully, we'll come back with some updates on our findings at the next show and tell. I'm not sure exactly who I'm handing over to, but I will hand over to the rest of the product team.
Hi, thanks, Tom. It's me. Matt, would I be able to take over sharing, and then we can come back to the slides?
Sure, no problem.
Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Amy. I'm from Camden Council and I'm the PO. I'm leading on, turn my camera on. I'm on pre-apps for BOPS. So I'm going to be showing you what we've got so far. We've got the full end-to-end journey now for consultations. So I'm just going to be doing a little demo and showing you what we have built. Okay, hopefully you can all see my screen. I'll just log in to our staging here. Come onto the main dashboard, and I've shown some of the dashboard before, but I'll just do a little overview. So here you can see that I've added a few test pre-apps. We can tell that they're pre-apps because of the PRE on the end. I've added the suffix to make it really clear and obvious to officers straight away what sort of application type they'll be dealing with. You can also see at the top here that we've added a new filter, so you can filter by just pre-apps. Just search for them, and then you can also search for the pre-app in there. Apply the filters. You can see that we've just got the pre-apps down here now. So I'll come on to this pre-app that I did earlier. I validated it earlier. And we've come onto the main pre-app page here, the landing page. You can see clearly all the main information at the top here. You can see the application type, that it's pre-app advice. And we can also see which service the applicant has selected in Plan X. A lot of different councils will have different services for their pre-apps, for example, including just written advice or including a meeting or a site visit as well. So you'll be able to see that in this section at the top here. I'll just come on to a consultation journey. So we'll click into consultation here. One of the sort of main challenges that we had with pre-apps was in the consultation stage, because pre-apps are one of the only application types which are not made public. They're not made available online to be viewed by the public at all, and so all the documents and information is sensitive. So one of the things was different, that was that there's no neighbour consultation or site notices or press notices which go out with for pre-apps, and so we have a global admin feature in the back end which has allowed us to turn off those tasks and those features for pre-app because they're not relevant. So we only have now the relevant tasks for consultation for pre-apps, which is when you consult or internally consult consultees for their comments. Here we can come in and select and add the consultees. So this is the same as the other consultation user journeys within BOPS. So we've kept that all aligned, and so it's obvious for the officer. You can see that I've added myself in just as a test a few times, but I'll just test by adding myself again. So here you can search for consultees. It's the exact same way as it's the other consultation types. I'm just going to add myself as a consultee, just test this. It's very clear. You just search for the consultee name and then you can select it. Those selections will have been added in your local admin, and so they will be selections from relevant to your local council. We'll then add the consultee here. We can see that it's been added here, but we can see the status that it's not been consulted on yet. So I'll come back and go on to this task to send the emails to consultees. Here we can see that I've not consulted this consultee yet myself, and so I'm going to click and add that. You're also able to view and edit the template which goes to the consultee. So this is an example of what the message will look like to the consultee. You can select whether you are sending or chasing or reconsulting. I'm sending a new consultee response, and then you're also able to manually set the response period. So it's a default of 21 days, but you are able to go in and edit that and send emails to consultees here. So because pre-apps are sensitive, they're not made available online. One of the biggest challenges we had was being able to send the documents and the pre-app information to consultees, but in a secure and authenticated way to keep the documents and all the information sensitive. So we have found a solution to that by being able to send the consultees a magic link. So this is a timed magic link. I'll see that should come into my emails now. I can see it here. This is what the email looks like when it comes to the consultee. So what we've built is this secure magic link here. So when the consultee clicks this link, we can see here in this email that we've made it. We've added in the proposal, site address, when they should submit their comments by, and we've just made it clear that it's a pre-application. They'll be able to click this magic link. It's a timed magic link. So far we've got it set for 48 hours, but we will sort of be reviewing that and seeing, speaking to consultees on how long that link should be. We've made it that time for now because it's a secure sort of way that the consultee can use it. By all means, we're not expecting them to respond within that time. If the time does expire and they click on the link, it will just come to a page, which I'll show you on the slide decks after this demo. It will just show up with a page where you can then click a button to request a new link, and then it will be sent to the email address, and you will be able to do it that way. We also know that a lot of consultees will be teams. They will most likely be internal teams who have their own system of then assigning that consultation to an individual officer, and you are able to forward on that link, and it will work when you forward it on to an individual who will be doing the consultation. So it brings us to this page within BOPS. You can see clearly again at the top, it's a pre-app when to submit your comments by. We have this map here where you can zoom in and out. You can see the surroundings, the constraints. You can see the red line boundary. Then the pre-application details down here. We'll have the planning officer details down here as well, and the documents that have been submitted. So only the consultee will be able to see these through this link. They're not made available online anywhere. Then here at the bottom, you can see we've got where you can submit your comments, approved amendments needed or objection. I'll just do a test one for amendments needed. Provide your response in here, just do a test. And they're also are able to upload any documents as well, for example, if they have an image or something that they need to refer to in their response. I'll then click submit a response here. And you can see clearly at the top that the response has been updated. So this is sort of a new way for consultees to be able to use BOPS. We've been looking recently at how consultees can be we can improve BOPS so that consultees are users of BOPS. If I just then come back onto the officer side, so I've as a consultee, I've submitted that response now. So as an officer, I can go into view consultee responses, and it should have just you can see here very clearly it's come through in the RAG rating. We've been starting to use the traffic light system. So amendments needed is this yellow colour. We can see I've got an objection here, which is a red, and if I had an approved one, it would be green. So it makes it very clear and obvious when the officer is viewing all of the consultee responses, what type of responses they have, sort of how many objections they have, etc. Then you can see here at the bottom, awaiting a few responses, but you can see that that comment has now come through at the bottom here, and I'm able to see clearly what the stance was, and it's come through in that traffic light system and what the comment is. So that's the consultation journey. I'll stop sharing now and come back to the slide deck. Please, Matt. Thanks.
Yep, 1 second.
So here I've just added some screenshots of if the magic link does expire, you are able to click and request a new magic link, and then just on the right there is what the new email will look like. It will just send you the new magic link. So if we just go on to the next slide, please, Nat. Thank you. So what have we seen here today? We've now built an authenticated and secure way for consultees to be able to view documents that are sensitive, for example, like pre-apps, in that secure sort of timed link way, so that you're not having to make the documents public in order for the consultees to view them. We've added sort of a new way for consultee users to comment through BOPS, and now that's all kept within BOPS currently at Camden anyway. On our current system, we have to do consultation via email, and we're just attaching documents to emails, and things can get lost, especially when you have sort of a few cases on the go. And so here we've managed to keep it all within the same system or within BOPS, and made it very clear and presented it in a clear way for the consultee and the officer to view the responses. And then we've also now started to introduce that RAG rating, the traffic light system, which a lot of people seem to like, and it seems to be very we've made it very clear for the officer sort of using that RAG rating what type of responses they will have received. Thanks. That's the end-to-end consultation journey. I think I'm handing over to Ed now.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much, Amy. My name's Ed. I'm another PO on the BOPS product. Primarily, I look at data and global admin stuff. So without any waste of time, I'm going to share my screen and do the very risky thing of doing some live demo in our staging system. So part of the idea with BOPS is that we improve the way things work and take some of that pressure off of local authorities when it comes to systems, and particularly running and administrating them systems. Part of this is the screen we're looking at the moment, which is our, we refer to it as a global admin. So it's the configuration, and it works at a global level. So any changes we make in this part of BOPS cascades to all instances, all authorities that are using it. So we have certain things in here. So one is we record legislation. So if we come into this, you can see here that we record the different sections of legislation that can be applied. So we've got Part 1, Class AA, the GPDO, which I'm sure many planning folk will be familiar with. We also record all of the reporting types. This is referred to as development type or Q codes, which are for the PS1 and 2 returns. So they're all recorded in here at a global admin level. GPDO, yes, is recorded in here. So if we dig into this, and I'll explain why it's all recorded here in a minute. So you can see we've got things like minor operations, and we have that is Part 2 and all of the classes listed there. And if we go into edit, once we dig a bit deeper, we can add things like links to that legislation. So all of this information starts building into the applications when they're being determined. So rather than having to go to Planning Jungle or another resource, a PDF of the GPDO, BOPS is able to deliver that information to you without you having to enter that information into your systems. It's just there. It's maintained globally. So if there are legislative changes, instead of, I think at last count, 317 authorities in England updating legislation within their systems and staying on top of it, it's done once at a global level and cascades into your system. So you don't have to do all that admin and staying on top of changes. It's done for you. This also works for application types. So we can see here, if a new application type is brought in under prior approval, for example, it's added once at a global level and will appear in your system. So as an admin for local authority systems, I know that a lot of authorities make the decision, do we set this up before it happens, or do we just wait and have a bit of a panic when we get one of these new prior approvals? Using BOPS, it's done for you. It's just there, ready to go, and has all of the relevant legislation built into it. So the latest feature we added to this dashboard at a global level is our local authorities list. So we are actually able to see which local authorities are using BOPS. This is the staging environment. You can see our active users, our inactive users, and it also gives us a status of how far through that journey of being set up they are. So if I look at Epson, for example, we can go into here and we can see the stages of that setup that are not completed. So we have a good idea of what needs to be done to get that authority over that final line to get them live and using the system. I think that is it from me. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes on at a global level, and what we're trying to do is remove that burden and all of that repetitive data entry from each local authority and bring it into one central pool rather than doing the same thing 317 times. And I think I'm now handing over to our team at Planex.
Yeah, that's me, and I'm happy to share slides, Matt. So I'll do that now. For people that don't know me, I'm Joe. I'm one of the software developers at Planex. Can everyone see my screen, by the way? Anyone can give me a thumbs up?
Yeah, all good.
Brilliant. So I've been working on improving our submissions log, and the submissions log is the place service owners go to get the list of submissions to their service. so they can check the status, download associated files if necessary. So at the moment, well, this is the previous situation. The row can expand. You can get the JSON response from the submission. You can download the files, and yeah, all the details are here. All the types of submission we've got. So my task this sprint had two aims. One was to hoist the submissions log to the team level, so that the service owner could see submission logs for the services for all their services in one place. Previously, the submission log was per flow only. So yeah, you'd go to a flow and then you'd go to the submissions log from there. But now there is a submissions log in both places, at the team level and at the flow level. And it's actually the same URL in the editor, but at the flow level, it's pre-filtered with the flow ID in the URL as a search parameter. And we've also added the flow name in the table, so it's easy to see which submission is for which flow, for which service. My other task was to make the submissions log table filterable, so it'd be easier for users to find out exactly what they're looking for example, a specific submission that failed, or one from a particular date. And this led on very nicely from other work we've been doing at PlanX recently involving tables, using a new third-party library called MUI Data Grid, which gives us lots of great table functionality out of the box, such as filtering, searching, hiding tables. So this is now what the submissions log looks like, or will do very soon for people who are actually using it. We've got all these features at the top, which yeah, really, they do a lot, and I'm just going to show you some videos of the sort of things they can do. So here's an example of the session ID column being sorted by ascending or descending, and that works on most of the columns, I think. You can also filter. For example, we're filtering here by flow name or by status here, sorry. So we've done failed 502, and it's knocked off all the others and just left us with that one. And you can also hide columns. So here I'm getting rid of the ones I don't care about and just having a list of flow names and their status, hiding all the fluff, basically. So yeah, it's been great to, this was our first opportunity to check that our initial implementation of this new data grid worked in another application. And yeah, so far it's been very successful. So we're going to be hopefully rolling out this pattern to other places. This will be on staging later today, I hope. So we'll be looking for feedback from council officers very soon. So look out on Slack for an announcement about that. And hope you like it. That's it from me.
Brilliant, thanks, Joe. Great, I think it's over to our DSN DPR team. Who's taking the reins over there?
Oh, that's me, Matt. Could you share your screen? If that's okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Hi, so I'm Rachel. I'm product manager from DPR DSN. So the update today is mainly focused on the digital planning register. And so yeah, starting off with some good news over the last month. So we've got Bucks on board into production. We've resolved the accessibility issues we identified over around the Christmas period through our external testing, which we went through in detail last time. And we started to build more features which will enable users to search applications more effectively. Next slide, please. So we've got some new joiners who started over the last couple of weeks. So we have Laura, design researcher, and Sarah, who's joining us as a service designer. And so when I go into some of our upcoming priorities, we'll talk a bit about what they'll be getting up to. But first, some user research, user feedback. So yeah, we've been collecting feedback via our form that users can access in the beta banner on the service. And so yeah, clicking the link takes them to this questionnaire. And if you go on to the next slide, please. So in terms of who we've heard from so far, we've had 23 responses from Camden users. And so this graph just gives you an overview of kind of who they are. So for instance, the bulk are homeowners, although we do have some who work in the planning industry. And then in terms of the things they've been saying, unsurprisingly, a lot of the comments that we got were regarding data on the service. So for instance, when users were searching for specific addresses, specific live applications, or maybe looking for older applications, they weren't able to see them. We also had a few comments related more to documents being inaccessible. So for instance, accessing PDFs, and then some expecting to be able to link back to the council more easily, or maybe having the impression that DPR was kind of part of the kind of council site. But focusing on the lack of data, just go on to the next slide. So at the moment, when users are kind of searching for a specific application or a specific postcode, as we don't have that many applications live yet, it means that they'll likely see this page. So no applications match your search. And so we've got a few things that we know we need to work on in the more kind of tactical, quick win type space. We need to set expectations around what users will be able to see on DPR more effectively. So for instance, being a bit clearer on this page, but then also the landing page that we're still a developing service, and so they might not see the applications they expect. And then that leads on to the second point around reducing dead ends, so that when users do find themselves in this position, we're able to navigate them. So this isn't kind of endpoint and they're not left frustrated. And so, for instance, with Camden, we can make sure that we're linking to the page on Camden's council site where they can access applications. And then the longer term ambition is increasing application data visible on the service. And so that's a priority that I'll go into a second when I look at our kind of next 3 month priorities that we're working on. And so in terms of our build priorities, we're focusing on how we can help users to search and view application data more effectively. So firstly, around searching and filtering comments, searching and filtering documents, advanced search so that they can perform much more granular searches, showing impact measures on applications, so similar to the digital site notice at the moment, so they'll be able to see things such as the impact on open spaces, and then an interactive map of applications, so they'll be able to see those applications visualized geographically, and then showing the application constraints layer on the interactive map as well. And then these are just some screenshots of previous designs of these. So this will enable users to have much richer data on the DPR. As I said, they'll be able to do much more granular searching and then be able to visualize those applications. Next slide, please. And so in terms of design and research, we're aiming to help understand, oh, sorry, I copied over the wrong text. We're intending to help understand where the barriers to adoption are and what we can do to increase engagement with the service. So first up is testing our physical note citus designs. Secondly, investigating how we can display applications from other sources. So kind of looking, we know that there's a lot of work that's already been done in this space with various options, and so we want to work with a kind of select number of councils to understand where the challenges are in providing data that maps to how we've designed our data schema, but then also the practicalities of finding a solution that can potentially scale. Next is researching discoverability and barriers to adoption. So this is both in the council space, but also public. So obviously a key part of our service is trying to encourage engagement from a more diverse and larger number of people. And so what are the things that we can do to make that possible? And then considering all of this kind of broader research, we need to go back and update our service map so that we can pinpoint where the opportunities and areas of problems are that we need to work on, but then also considering the broader ODP ecosystem and how we fit into it. And then lastly, ongoing metrics work to help us understand what data do we need to be gathering, tracking and monitoring so that we can really understand the impact that we're having and the engagement that we're having. And so, yeah, in terms of looking forward, we have research opportunities for councils. So as I just mentioned, testing physical site notice designs, understanding how councils can structure and provide planning application data so that can be visible on DPR. And then feeding into the barriers to adoption, discoverability of the service research. And yeah, so that's it from us this time.
Brilliant. Thank you, Rachel. And thank you, everyone. So that is the end of the presentations from all the product teams. Lots of great, exciting stuff to see and lots of opportunities for people to get involved. So if you are keen to take up on any of those opportunities, just get in touch with your contacts at ODP, and we can make sure to link you up to the appropriate team members. We've got a little bit of time left in the session, so if there are any questions that anyone has for any of the teams or any of the people that presented today, feel free to raise your hand and we can go around the houses. Okay, well, I can see there are some comments in the chat for the BOPS team, so I'll make sure we capture some of those and come back to people with some answers offline. Some of them, yeah, just need a bit of thinking. But yeah, if there's no other immediate questions or comments, we will wrap it up there and say thank you everyone for for finding the time to come along and sort of see what's been happening. Yeah, obviously, yeah, great to see so many people here. As I said, if you have any questions or anything you think of afterwards, please just reach out and get in touch. Otherwise, we'll say have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll speak to everyone soon.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, everybody.
So everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks
Bye
all.
now.
Bye bye.